Welcome back. Today has been a marathon so far, both teams going all the way in both games as well. We're going to the third map here between NRG and Red Reserve. Now, most of the analysis, and I think we echoed the same sentiment, that we thought this was probably going to be over in 2. Yep. Now, we didn't think it was going to be towards NRG either. We thought Red Reserve was going to do well. I think the desk even predicted that in their, the little predictions that are going on. Hope someone's keeping a tally. But yeah, this has been a bit of a slog now.
Yeah, Red Reserve really kind of coming into form. It's interesting, of course, that each team wins their opponent's map pick.
Yeah.
Obviously, leaves us on cash, which was a big question mark in terms of NRG. We said that, of course, it's a bit of a Swedish pocket pick, and that's exactly what Red Reserve would be. So who knows, though? I mean, cash is always just kind of in the open, and again, North American CS is not a, doesn't shy away from cash either. So
I just have a horrible feeling it's gonna be so puggy.
Yeah.
Yeah. North Americans love a bit of puggy cash, and then this team is like literally just FPL bait, and it's just like, this is not going to be that pretty game. I hope we get additional time on the analysis desk for Halvor to really break down every strategic element of what we're about to see on cash between these two, because there's going to be a lot to look at, I can imagine. Very in-depth tactics, but a lot of raw firepower. Now, we saw a couple of players really coming into their own. One being Breeze. He was outstanding. He's had a big game. On the other side, though, there's been a couple. There's been so many different players having moments throughout this game. Michael Ellie wasn't even the headliner there either.
No, actually, I mean, not to kind of, say anything bad of him, but he was actually the bottom fragger.
Yeah.
So you think of this lineup, he's quite clearly the man with the most experience. And yet everybody else is kind of stepping up, which just goes to show the actual, viability of this lineup. Most notably, of course, I'd say Relaxa. He had some serious op play. He also had some just really great Deagle play as well. Are Relaxa and Freddy Frog related?
They have to be.
I was going to say.
They absolutely have to be. Unless it's the same cam at a different angle.
I was worried about that at one point because we had Hampus for Michael Ellie, right? And I was like, is this the same person?
They have to be related. Otherwise, that's just ridiculous. They are
twins. Okay, so they're like the Ogre twins of Halo.
We also had the Brazilian teams, obviously. They have twins as well.
Yep.
So it's a thing.
It's a genetic thing.
Exactly. They're just connected through CSGO. And a mid play going to come out straight away from NRG. Glocks through mid. Actually, I'll tell a lie. It's 2 P250s through mid. So I guess Red Reserve going to fall off it. But yeah, this is hyper puggy style. Just like straight up smoke out connector, get through vents, get in there, crunch towards B. But there's a lot of Red Reserve players here. So it's going to be a little bit tricky getting that cross down cleanly, but nothing's hitting so far, it seems.
No shots connecting other than damage dealt until Freddy Frog finds the head of Breeze. And the bomb is still planted regardless. Fugly able to get that in, but of course he has to do it safely, so it's not planted for anybody really. He's going to have to make sure he stays alive, and ANJ seems to be the insurance policy on exactly that. Bit of a crossfire set, a perfect flashbang, clears out ANJ. Pete from underneath the vents, able to swing it with one. Fugly taking a kill as well, doubles to Michael Ellie. 20 points of health, 2 kills on the board, but that's all he gets. Red Reserve to take the pistol.
Big retake as well. There was a kit on Freddy, but he should have this anyway. He's fine. Rusty gets the job done on the retake, but Freddy the Frog, again, and Freddy Frog has been doing wonderfully. Those first couple of kills he gets, just being a nuisance as well. I thought with Pete's presence in towards Checkers, that could have gone the other way, but no, they clean it up well. And even with Fugly being, a bit of a threat on the site, just gets handled. NRG back on a, semi-buy here. A little bit of an investment into this. P250's, Deagle's, no armor though. About to around 2K. So he did a little bit of damage. Don't want to completely forgo the round, but tough to make anything happen with this. They're just maybe looking to meet aggression. Surprised no one boosted up Peter there or someone else towards red. Always nice to put a player up there, just so they can watch if there's a mid push coming out with the SMGs, and they do it now. Hampus watching Squeak. There is a player on the other side, but no one's playing through it just yet.
Of course, unarmored bodies of NRG should allow these weapons to just rip flesh from bone. Even the MP9 of Hampus. But NRG, I mean, we saw this, I believe, on Train, where they're just kind of trying to make the most of their pistol play, despite having a sheer disadvantage here. I mean, Fugly with a Deagle could still maybe find some kind of a pick. Even one gun dropped would be something to play off of. Peter trying to get himself into middle, or at least creating a bit of a distraction. Rusty wants to take this duel, but there is the man boosted up, so he has to be cautious.
Yeah, I'm wondering what Fugly's up to. There we go. Finally, actually moves over. Peter's been forcing an uncomfortable situation for Rusty for that, to allow Fugly up there to be able to catch him kind of moving between spots. Breeze now delivers towards Forklift. Molly will do the job anyway, but Michael Ailey's in a little bit of a situation, but look at who's watching the cross. It's Peter. That's a great position. Good work from him. Smart play. Not just trying to rush towards Michael Ailey, but buys the time for this. Now it's down to the 1v1. Freddy Frog up against Fugly, and Fugly was having a sick game before, and he's going to do it again. Great job from him. 3 kills. And patience pays off for NRG. And Peter especially playing in Fugly towards Highway then was huge.
Yeah, even not just towards the highway at the latter portion, but I mean, the fact that Fugly's able to drop down is because Peter distracts from the opening of middle. So Peter, while he didn't come up with kills that round, certainly put his teammates in a prime spot to walk away with it. And Fugly, just a matter of performance. So, you wanted a pug? How about a pistol round? Force buy actually working out. Not even a force, actually. They had no Kevlar. That was literally just pistols. Less than what we find Red Reserve playing off of here in the third. They're already down by 1. Relaxa removed. Michael Ailey next to fall. Peter takes the kill with the MP7. Lines up the next. Peppers him down. That's Rusty removed. And NRG working towards the A site.
Yeah, Breeze's utility. Once that smoke goes, he can molly out this spot, or he could have done it early. You can see Hamper's having to play around it. He knows that he's under real pressure here, so he needs to make a play, make a move. Well, that happens. Breeze going to buy his time and wait on this. They're already starting to pressure towards A. Freddy going to hold an off angle. Going to hope that he just catches someone. A couple of headshots come out would be really nice. What are you up to, Fugly? What are you up to? Just hopping away, just hoping he gets away with his life? No. He will get found, but in the end, it'll be another round on the board.
Able to convert what Red Reserve were not able to do themselves. So the CT side back down to just vanilla pistols, and NRG get a bit of a grace period here. $0 investment.
This should be fun. Hold down mouse 1 and please don't die. Freddy, the only one to fall, or get the kill towards Fugly, should I say. He's having a bit of an awkward time. But he's still got a kill. The money's still good for NRG. They're fine. They can rebuy whatever they want. No AWP to come out early for Peter. Maybe feeling he's fine on that rifle. He's on 7-2. So for him, that's a confidence booster. He needs it. He's had a quiet game. He's going to start feeling it out now. Maybe start feeling like he can take some of these fights with that AWP. Michael Ailey's on his already. But this is a very big purchase for Red Reserve. They have a very, limited bank account at the moment. So they want to get this on the board. They want to keep it clean. It looks like just a normal A hit coming through. They don't have any other map control NRG, so they're going very in on this A play early on.
They might want to do this quickly, seeing as already that B main presence is kind of allowing Relaxa to think about leaving, thinking about rotating off. I mean, there's no mid play whatsoever from Red Reserve. Michael Ailey just trying to spot it, but that's a great flash. No one checks, though. Rusty able to find 1.5 frags. Hampus closing the door behind him as he hits the headshot, but he too is completely blind, as is ANJ, who gets dealt with quite swiftly. Bomb now dropped from above, gets stuck on top of Fork, and that is really awkward. It is just Peter left, and he's able to find 1 more headshot, but can he take the next 2? Of course, he sees the man above, and Peter's gonna do this. At least swinging it to the clutch. A 3K already, and a hot start on cash. More kills than the entirety of Cobblestone in the first 5 rounds.
The problem is the angle that Freddy has is tough. Freddy's actually going to switch it up now. He's fallen off that. The bomb is not to hand. Pete is going walkabouts. Kind of needs that bomb. He doesn't have the time to go for like the long, clean play. Freddy's just going to wait for it. He can play back in on the plant. He doesn't need to rush it. Pete really has no idea where Freddy is right now. Has to be careful of middle, connector, everything. Up we go. Freddy begins to wind this up as well. Pete completely unawares. Oh, this isn't the this is not a plant. He had no idea. He thought it was in main. Completely unawares as to where Freddy was coming from. And a bit of a shame for Peter. You could have played it safe. He had all the time for that, but he genuinely thought it was main. I don't think that was a bad call, or he just read the situation wrong. Close, though.
And still, Peter, I mean, there's nothing to be ashamed of in that round. He gets that first spam kill over towards NBK, removes the man off of E-Box, spots the head towards upper. So, I mean, that would have been a 4K and a 1v3 on top of it. No shame in giving up a round to Red Reserve. Seeing as, of course, it was that 1v1, we do see Red Reserve rebuy with what they can. That includes the double ump. And no op to counter that of Peter.
It kind of gives away, though, obviously, Red. You can read the utility so easily on Cash. And what they have, you see a CT side smoke main, is because they definitely do not have an AWP or a scout up. Because then you don't allow T players to cross the other side if you have it. You want to be taking those fights. You can generally win them. As soon as that smoke goes in, you know you're in a decent spot here. Start playing out from Squeaky, start adding the pressure, get those mollies down towards Fork. You can bail out of here with just a default smoke. You're seeing it now. Nice aggression from Michael. Doesn't want to allow that to happen. Smart play from him, gets an upgrade for free as well. Well, I guess for the cost of 50 HP, but not bad at all. Relaxer now, next in line. Nade goes through. Ugly backs away. Not too worried about that one just yet.
Solid mid control for NRG, so what they lose at A, they take in middle. But from here, where do they go? Back to which they came. Daps. And the bomb on Peter starts to work out towards B. Now, of course, we saw Relaxa up in vent, but he has fallen back since. Freddy's just going to anchor the back of Checkers here, so if he doesn't reveal himself, then the players in vents can't do much about it. They do have a Molotov, and they are going to try to force his hand, so he swings out, still takes one, Fugly trades it back, Relaxa fully blind, and the T side trying to push forward here in this 3v3. Relaxa drops the bomb, but he can't duel versus number 2, and so Michael has to hold the cross. Time so crucial, 7 seconds, headshot connects, and Fugly's going to get this in, but only in the nick of time as the frag will deny, and that's the round for Red Reserve.
Great nade coming through there. That is frustrating as hell. Good stuff, though, from Red Reserve, keeping this game very much up in the air. No one able to tear it away from each other just yet. And I love that kind of mid-round aggression. That's what I like to see from people like Michael, who has that sort of game sense and ability to do it. And this is the nade. Timed it well. Bounces off the back. Comes forward. See you later. No plants on default today. Fast smokes towards middle and flashes. Early pressure here. This could be a quick hit towards B, possibly. They still have that one player towards middle, so they can fall off this, but nothing towards Squeak, nothing towards A main, and look at the A main play. Red Reserve just doing the full-on CT side aggro. I love it. Just right in the faces, not caring about NRG at all. Just want to get the map control and make it very hard for NRG to do anything other than that initial plan to go towards B.
I mean, look how just changing the maps has changed up what Red Reserve are allowed to do. When they're on the CT side of Cobblestone, while they played it well, it was much more reserved. They were not afforded these kinds of aggressions just because Cobble doesn't play into that type of strength, whereas now Cash is for the taking, and they'll gladly get aggressive. It's nice to see. Can they hold off on B? Seeing as the T's start to filter in, Hampus finds the first, flashbangs connect and blind the entirety of that wave. The bomb has been dropped, and that's not going to stop Breeze from at least getting the headshot, clearing the back of sight, and maybe taking a plant here as Fugly and Breeze combine for another 2, and they take the man advantage. Can Red Reserve fight back?
The timing on that, a little unfortunate, but good work from Relaxer to pressure, just as you can imagine. The smokes and everything else was trying to be put down to allow that bomb to be planted. Now the retake comes in. Freddy and Relaxer. The dastardly duo. The brothers Grimm. Looking for the play in here. Fugly on the other side of that smoke, waiting. Breeze the same. And now Relaxer going to right on in this. And there it is. Brilliant retake between the two. They did have a kit as well. If required, they could switch to it. They don't need it. But nice work through and through from Relaxer and Freddy.
Great communication, great cover. Each player allowed to take their own duel. Each player comes out on top. So, it is Red Reserve back with their lead. And quite clearly the rebuy, at least on one side. Poor NRG. Literally have to contemplate this. I mean, there's so much cash still for Peter to play with.
Yeah, he can drop a couple of people out, or he does that. Hero AWP, let's go.
I see it.
If he's believing in it, I think he's a player who needs that confidence. So if he's starting to go for it, then why not? Let him have those battles. You need it at this point. Red Reserve are being hard to deal with. They're being aggressive, and you need to find a counter. This looks like the old school A smokes, right? You can see where they're all like lining up at the back here. Problem is that they have to fight back in towards A main if they go for this. They might need to abort out a bit. 2 players. That's normally the... You could do millions of smokes from that position. And Freddy and Hampus already up on boost. This becomes a problem. They're starting to fit, you know, they've really got a good understanding where this is coming from. Drops down towards the light. Here come the smokes. Shuts the door. Freddy now just going to batten down the hatches. Hampus Goes anti-flash, but are they going to hit A main? They can't. They surely have no play here. And this is smart, though. They go for highway. That's a good switch up. That's a new look, and I like it. Hampus could have been made uncomfortable here, but he still comes out with the goods.
ANJ, though, he's going to trade that back quite quickly thanks to the sidearm. So the man advantage taken back as Relaxa finds one frag. Peter on 14 health and Freddy to the back of the site. It's a cleanup from Red Reserve. NRG, again, just trying to get that space, but they're locked down.
I really like the idea. They were able to take middle. They got past connector. They got up highway. I really liked it, but the problem is that A main split just didn't work out. It just doesn't work against this style that you're seeing being brought by the Swedes, that they're taking over A main control. They're making it very hard for you to play back in anytime you play late. You've got to almost default out on this map, take over map control, and just play it in off the back of that, because you're giving up so much room. Red Reserve showing exactly what they can achieve on Cash. Nice deep nade. Oof. A second later, that could have done some real damage.
Despite only having pistols here, NRG with a nice little collection of utility. They could just smoke and fire out this bomb site, clear checkers as well to try and prevent some peaks. Counter nades in from Red Reserve, however, and the opening frag to Breezy make it 2. Hitting these headshots thanks to the Tech 9. The bomb now starting to cross. Rusty wants to spot it, but his eyes see nothing, as the plant will certainly be found, although it's going to get a little hot on site. Forces him out, and now 2 players just cowering behind Standard.
Breeze is well going to be waiting on the push out here. CT side, you're against 5 here. Sure, okay, the buy is low from Daps and Peter, but it might be time to back away. Yeah, Hampus is already out there. The hunt's going to begin from the T side. They can shove a couple of players towards them. Hampus is going to find some sort of refuge towards CT as they all do this. Daps and Peter could probably hunt this if they want to. We've got P250s. Michael does have the AWP, and he wants to keep control of it. He's expecting the jump up on the box. Not going to happen. And the rest of the team do start to flood around. They're losing out on these guns here, but at the end of the day, it's all done round-wise. Guns to be recovered at the end. They're still fine. Red Reserve keep themselves in this game. But a little bit of a fight back from NRG.
Unfortunately for NRG, I mean, they haven't won a round in 4, and then instantly when they do, everybody's dead. So thankfully that was just that kind of light buy, because had that been a full investment, they really would have been tied up. I mean, there is just no cash left over here, so they're still able to afford those grenades because they win one when they really shouldn't. Very close, not stable, that's for sure. Red Reserve still with that 1-point lead, trying to go for the counter boost into Vent. Freddy is gonna make it, but Fugly will fall. That's Relaxa, keeping an eye on the push through smoke. Daps trying to get cheeky, could follow suit. Possibly to join Fugly in death, as Freddy Frog is still ready to drop down here.
Daps does get the angle. It's finding it hard to work in on B. And Michael Ailey finding Breeze over by Squeaky is going to, again, just kind of work down NRG. The default they're playing out is still pretty aggressive. They're really taking fights. It's hard to handle Red Reserve when they're like this. They're aggressive, of course. They lose out on players on either side of the map now. Where do they want to pinch towards? It looks like B's the end goal here, and I don't mind that. It's a nice little way to try and contain the numbers disadvantage. Good shot there towards Relax. He's down to 41, but flashes out. Bit of a madman move at this point, but Freddy's there in support. He doesn't know what's happening. He's blind. He's looking back in. Oh, that's a lovely shot as well, and Rusty makes it round in time, and a shutdown comes in as Red Reserve pick up where they leave off.
Starting to cement this lead now. Again, that hard reset really gonna hurt NRG. They have to bottom out their banks, buy what they can, and it's not all too much. They're gonna get that double Tech 9 CZ, double P250, so few grenades. I mean, not even a single ump, not a scout to play with, really nothing. And at the same time, Red Reserve gonna bust out that double op setup. Michael and Relaxa. At least thanks to the smoke on the Z connector, Rusty does get sectioned off, but Hampus is willing to lend a helping hand as the flash rains out. Rusty looks for targets, and he sees a lot of presence as the grenades come sailing in, as now the T side split into the B site, where Freddy lies in wait.
Remember, Relaxa isn't far off either. That AWP can really cause havoc from above. Freddy, just with his back starting to become a little warm here. The flash comes in, doesn't affect him. And Freddy again tries to move around, but there's that molly coming in. Relaxer, what can you do here? Michael Ailey's already showing you up, finds Breeze. Oh, what a shot from Michael Ailey. That's what you want to be seeing, the flare, the fire. Exactly what Michael Ailey can do, and this is a shutdown, this is a shutout. He's got 10 bullets and he wants the kill. Rusty takes it from him, but again, good performance from Michael, and another round on the board.
Nice op play there with that double op setup. Even despite the player in heaven missing his shots or not being able to control that cross, Michael gets it. First one to Breezy, almost the second. Beautiful kill.
Okay, NRG taking a tactical timeout. Words are hard after a while, I have found. We've been casting a little while now. How long have we been casting now?
Three maps times 2. Math's hard too. Math and words.
And then double OT. How long is this? I'm trying to work it out. When do we get? I don't remember. I don't know what time it is. It's all gone. My brain's seeping out of my nose. But the team's still focused. I, however, questionable. You know, no judgment today. I think you have to be nice to me. Obviously, the internet is a very forgiving place.
Of course.
Truly kind. We support you, Peter thread. Already front page on Reddit. Don't you worry about it, buddy. We believe you always come back in cash. He's been vocal about how to handle this. It's not easy. Trying to break through on this map individually against these players, because I always feel, I don't know why, but cash always allows you to be so good individually. I think it's just because you play it so much on any of the kind of like, I guess, services you can use, like your Faceit, your ECA, right? You play it so often just because it's just an easy go-to mix map. I think you still see some of those creative tactics on it, and the hardest punish rotates, but you can just play it so nicely as an individual. I think it gets hard to play against Red Reserve, because you see some of those players like Freddy going off, Michael Ailey going off. It's hard to handle them. It looks like the crowd's turning up for KPI nice and early. They're getting ready for it.
Getting ready for the best of 3 upset versus Envious.
That's gonna. I can't believe that's still gonna happen tonight. That's the crazy thing. Like, how much OT is gonna happen in that game?
Knowing Envious.
Exactly. Like, let's be real. It's Envy. That could be going all night long. And there's what, 2 more best of 3s?
Yep.
Have fun, Harry, and Risk. Get the monster energy in you right now. I'm gonna be doing the same in just a second's time. I'm a little addicted to it. It's a bit of a problem. But yeah. We are just going to wait on this one to start up. Hopefully for NRG, they can refocus, pull themselves back together in this, because it's getting to that point where you feel tired, you feel frustrated, emotions start overcoming it. Yeah. It's about that kind of consistency and focus that you can try and provide. But at 7-4, you're starting to be running a little ragged here. They've got to try and pull themselves back through now.
It's a real shame as well that now that Peter's starting to find some form, sitting at 12-8, that it's Daps who's going to be struggling individually. And Jay again down there, so it's like they just can't get up one map where everybody seems to be finding those shots.
You don't even need like everyone being like a superstar, right? You just want everyone to do bare minimum, right? You want
kill.
Exactly. You just want that. You don't need someone to be a superstar, but this could be the A hit coming through here. There's already a player in towards MBK. Who is that? Rusty. And he's great at this too. He feels always. It looks like he's good under pressure. Molly comes in, plays off well, but by this point they've actually broken through by truck, and that's a problem. The last 3 players are all over by that side.
Relaxa waiting for that smoke grenade to fade. Of course, ANJ did get aggressive towards the truck, so Hampus still needs to clear corners. It's the man advantage, although no Kevlar, not a single bit of utility, so CT is going to test their hand at the retake, deploying smoke grenades every which way, and Hampus picking up the heat up close. Near costs him with the swap, but Freddy saves it with 1. Hampus and Relaxa combine for all those frags.
Did Hampus kill the guy at quad? Can we get a replay on that? Like, he swung over. He wasn't even, like, shooting the guy in front of him. I need to see this again. That was ridiculous. But, yeah, good retake in the end. But, so, yeah, he kills the guy here. Cool. Spots the guy close. But watch him swing to the guy at quad. He's like, wait, nah, nope. That is so weird. That guy just comes into this, swinging around the place. But Red Reserve now just double themselves up. They're at 8-4. They're starting to look good on this, and I don't doubt their T-sides either. I think that's when you can unleash certain players and they start to just do it individually.
Yeah, absolutely. Michael again with this A main aggression. There's been a lot of forward control from Red Reserve on this CT side. Again, we talk about how they're allowed to like open up opportunities and get aggressive and do as they please. Well, they have been. They've been boosting Hampus up multiple rounds. They've been putting Michael inside of A main. They've been just allowing Rusty to anchor to the back of quad. Very dynamic on this CT side is Red Reserve. And like you just mentioned, I can't help but feel like they'll keep this pace moving into the second half.
Yeah. NRG need to be up for challenging this. They can't be scared of fighting it. Now, I think Michael is going to win this fight just because you put your money on Michael, right? But still, you've got to be willing to take these challenges. If you play scared, it plays into them. That's a nice bit of utility utilized, forcing him off the angle. Peter now claims it.
Of course, that real estate has not been reclaimed by Michael. Afraid to peek back into that angle is he. Meanwhile, we start to see the defense shift off of the B bomb site. Freddy Frog leaping back towards tree. But then he decides to come back. Relaxa, able to pluck one from B main, spots the bomb in the process, I believe, and Freddy burns Breezy alive. So, Relaxa dropping down to Daps, puts him on the scoreboard, ANJ with a headshot as well, but here comes Freddy from the back corner, spraying for 2 as Michael finds the last, and Red Reserve move on to 9.
Yeah, this looks like Red Reserve is just picking up confidence, starting to feel the game out as well. You know, if these less experienced players start to really just come alive on the stage, that's going to be a great feeling for them against a quite established team. Remember, you know, NRG, of course, they've changed a player. They're finding new roles. Daps is having a very quiet game as well. It's got to feel pretty awful for him, not really coming alive in this one at all. But in-game leader, etc., you know, don't worry about it. It's not all on him. He's had these performances where he can be absolutely game-changing, but you also just want your heavy hitters to be doing this. You want your fraggers to be the one at the top. Shouldn't always be someone like Daps. But for now, it looks like NRG eyeing up this A hit, and already Red Reserve will be playing quite passive to this. I assume that NRG smoked that themselves, because I don't know why Red Reserve put the smoke up there themselves when they've got 2 AWPs on this. Good line of smokes come in. Breeze to find Hampus, but will they expect these AWPs so close by? Michael goes in for the challenge. That's confidence and a half.
Yeah, and with the sidearm, he's able to take Fugly, just continues to duel. Breeze gets dropped down to a slighter bit of health, 1 quarter left as Freddy Frog shows his hand from A main, burning off the backside. That's going to prevent the peak. And Relaxa still trying to help out here. There's a terrorist stuck between them and 1 to the back of quad. That's ANJ. Freddy catches Daps. That was the flanker. So now Relaxa becomes in question. He swaps to the sidearm and takes it. Red Reserve fighting their way back into the bomb site. ANJ needs the clutch, and it's Relaxa with the drive-by. Red Reserve moving to double digits and leaving this on the 15th round. NRG still with only 4.
They've kicked it up a notch, haven't they, Red Reserve? It's just powerful, it's smart, it's good, they're having fun. NRG look a little flat in this right now. They don't seem to have that little bit of fire. You can see the frustration kicking in. It has been a marathon of a game so far. This could be an 11-4 half. That's a very, very decisive scoreline in a half time. And it looks like maybe a bit of a B hit. We do have some presence from Fugly elsewhere, so it might not be quick, but look at this aggression. Freddy's feeling it. Relax is pushing up now as well, going to play him in. Hard for Relax to back away if he's on this angle. It's fine for the first shot. If you can isolate someone, it's hard to get out of it without support, but we'll see what his game plan is. Are they going to do an execute on this? This plays in so perfectly. He does actually get the kill, but it plays in Freddy, who gets the spray down. 2 big kills. And sadly for NRG, he's not done yet. He even gets a tag to follow, and the support's already in place.
Rusty waiting towards headshot, but Peter removes Hampus. That's from above. Relaxa still pinned down towards checkers. Do they check this? Or do they think he has fully retreated here? They don't have the Molotov to burn him out. Peter still watching for the flank, as is Daps, but it's not there. Red Reserve playing towards site and just leaving Michael to hold down mid. Michael shifting his attention towards the A site instead. So questions being asked from the CT side, but patience being shown as they just wait in line.
Not a bad idea to hit the brakes for them. It'll mean that one player has to peel away anyway. That's going to be Michael. He has to kind of, I guess, hedge the bets, right? He's got to stay over by it just in case they try and walk it. Now they're not, but you'd hate to see it just getting a free plant, perfect after plant positions, and they can still leave 2 here on B. Now, of course, Relaxer is very low on HP, but he's got the AWP, still fine. They might start hearing these steps now. Player by headshot. Relaxer now played in. He hears it, he sees it. Rusty is there. Lovely combination between the two. And now Michael Ailey is right back with the boys as Fugly wants to take the challenge. He does take down the first, but Michael Ailey destroys him from above. And Red Reserve start looking pretty darn solid here.
Very scary, especially considering that 3 of these 4 rounds from NRG are all thanks to them winning that round 2 pistol. Sure enough, being able to upset, kind of forcing Red Reserve back a slight bit. But then from there, 1 round on the board. This is Red Reserve all day, kind of going into what we had expected. Again, the Swedes just showing dominance on this map. And if they can win this second pistol and actually convert it this time around, I'd say it's safe to say this one's done.
I'm there with you. I think it looks like NRG are feeling it too, if I'm honest. It feels like they, it's got in their heads a little bit, like we're just not having that game, it's getting frustrating. And it's hard to play against, especially when a team's just coming together, We didn't see this sort of play out of Red Reserve before. They got pretty much trashed by NIP.
Yeah.
But then again, if you think you're a young Swedish player, you play against these guys all the time, right? But, on an official stage, you're playing against NIP,
Yep.
God tier legends. It gets a little intimidating, right? You don't feel as confident anymore. You lose a little bit of that kind of carefree spark. You're going to get reminded, like, I'm in their world now, okay. So again, they've come out, they've adjusted, and they've put up a great display here. So credit to these guys for not taking it laying down. They've really come back in and showed us what they're made of. Not an easy task at all. Peter, though, going to be waiting it out in mid. Relaxer over by B. And NRG, of course, now on the CT side, need to lock this one down. Mid-take coming through. Fugly going to be playing this one out from quad. I like this. Makes it hard for the Glocks to do anything with it. And good aggression towards A main. So, smart from him just to make the most of it. Give them mid-control, that's fine. But you've got to lock down one of the sites. And this is going to be it. This is it. Dabs gets overdone. The ding comes in, but they do not expect Breeze here.
Breeze able to drop the bomb and pop 2. Freddy Frog splattered to the headshot. Leaves only Michael Ailey. Great hold by Breeze. Again, asserting himself on an individual level. But Michael's still going to fight this one back here. And with only 19 health, he's going to need some very superb headshots. Counter-terrorists of NRG not looking to push in just yet, giving him a bit of space to wiggle with. But there it is. ANJ reveals himself, takes that frag, and all thanks to Breeze, that bomb site never tumbles.
Really well played, Tim. I'm surprised he got away with this. They didn't even check on it. I guess he was on the edge of the smoke, so quite hard to see. And a lovely second shot. Can't always bank on hitting that, but he does hit some of these shots on a relatively regular basis, I guess. But still, very nice stuff. Not going to take out the vent. No need to. CT side going for some A main aggression now. For Red Reserve, they're all around the back. They're going to hear this. They're going to hear ANJ. They're going to put down the smokes. But this is where it plays well. This is kind of, having to do with what they were doing back to them. But they're going to do the mid-take. Red Reserve running a mid-take off the back of showing A presence. I like this. It makes B very isolated. If somehow they get past these 2 players, this becomes very, very good for them. But it's hard. You still got SMGs there. There's still a lot to be done. And it's Breeze. He's only 18 HP, but he's still standing alive. He's trying everything he can, and the supports arrive, but it's a little too late. The kills have come in, but the bomb left so far back. There's still a little bit of work to be done here for Red Reserve.
Because Fugly falls off of heaven, it's actually able to cross. So now it's Hampus to lock down Checkers. And the other 2 Ts on site. NRG can afford to go for this longer flank. Again, Fugly has a kit. There's no utility for the counter-terrorists to play with. ANJ has that M4 up close. They need Peter to get into position, but he's just taking his sweet time. Hampus gonna start to fire off towards vents, just trying to keep this man in here. Peter been revealed, Relaxer with a headshot, no way. Red Reserve take it down to the 1v3, and ANJ falls back. Look at that, Red Reserve with the upset. They do to NRG what NRG did to them.
Gonna try and make it costly, at least pleading to keep control of that M4. He did well to find 2, but overall, that man on the screen, you can see him there. Hampus having a great game, especially in that round, just costing so much. Peter then on the flank just got completely destroyed by that P250. A little unfortunate, you got to feel, but is what it is. Red Reserve now moments away from getting themselves even further in this tournament.
Again, it would be that decider match versus Counter Logic Gaming is what's on the cards. Freddy, 21 frags now. counter boost from NRG, not to mention this B main aggression as well, so they're trying to take fights on multiple fronts. They will net themselves 1 kill. But immediately Fugly gets returned upon. Rusty catches the headshot, wary of the boost. And meanwhile, Red Reserve just gear up for the A take. They find the site, they'll get their plant. NRG shouldn't retake, but okay. Peter, just finding headshots through smoke. Nothing to see here.
If we could just make a nice gif of Michael Ailey's reaction, that's how I feel whenever I get deagled. That's great. A and J and Peter are going to try and put them to some form of use here. 1 smoke that goes out towards main. 2 UMPs and a rifle, but you've got upgraded armor on A and J. If they can get a gun out of this, they can find one that was lost or anything, I guess it's the best you can do. You're not going to win this round. You can see Peter looking for exits. But yeah, all said and done, is Red Reserve really getting very close to winning out this matchup now. Yep.
It's going to take a hell of a comeback from NRG. At least Peter with a couple more shots. And an AK. A little parting gift for his efforts. The fruits of his labor.
A great moment for these guys as well. Big tournament turning up in spades with the heavy lifting coming out. But 5-13, it's starting to look a little dreary for the NRG guys. Bit of a force up, whatever they can get. Hamper's just going to pick up the pace. He's going fast in this one. Straight through towards checkers. Yeah, nothing here. Okay, you've mollied me out. Thank you very much, team. But there's people on the side. I'm going to go CT. Off he goes. As they all look around, Molly's back in, helps out his team, turns back around. And he's just putting on a show now. He's starting to have a bit of fun with it. He does get punished, and Breeze reminds him, you cannot take me lightly. You cannot think this is over yet. 3v3.
Bomb's now down. Freddy up close and personal. Gonna decide to Molotov off Heavens. This will prevent NRG from gearing up for their retake. They have only that 1 kit and the single smoke as well. Nice little insurance policy in the form of Relaxa. He's just playing over towards checkered side, and he's going to go uncontested. Furthers the smoke on the CT spawn. And poor old NRG, they just want to get this retake rolling, but they're going to have to walk through the cover, and down they go. Fugly with something to show off, but only that 1 frag. Makes it 2, could take 3, but no. That's Relaxa with a headshot, and Red Reserve with another round.
Sadly, at this point, even economic damage doesn't really equate to much. You need rounds on the board, and NRG are just not getting them up there. It's 14 rounds now by Red Reserve. You can imagine KPI starting to eye up their game, considering, all right, it'll be our turn soon. We'll be on that stage. Same could be said for the French side against them, wanting revenge, wanting the opportunity to make up for that rather strange result. But this could be a very important round. 14, of course, in the pocket of Red Reserve. 1 more, they get on 15, and that is match point. Not map, match. All 3 maps played thus far. Rusty hears it, and he hears someone close by. He doesn't want to take that chance. Give Breeze the advantage. Oh, but a lovely one-way angle. That's going to punish the Red Reserve boys. Hampus and Relaxa feeling a little worse for wear.
Nice initial damage dealt here. NRG putting themselves in a decent enough spot to fight into this. They furthered that onto Michael. Just looking for some cheeky wall bangs. There's nobody even inside of mid. NRG with 3 guys on A, 2 players towards B. Red Reserve just continuing this creep into the A main as the smoke now fades. Looking to spot some feet. If only Relaxa realized they're further back than that.
Oh, great timing on the flash. Was that a team flash actually coming through? I'm not sure. Whatever it was, it doesn't work out well for NRG. As now they're down to 2, and Rusty wants to fight. He doesn't win it, and on the close wall, that was Daps. Now Breeze playing it back in, 1v3. Limited HP, no kit. Chances looking slim, but he doesn't want that 15 rounds sitting by Red Reserve, but sometimes you have to accept your fate, and I think Breeze might just have to do that. No one's giving him the fight that he wants. Looks for a new angle. Desperate for someone to play into, but this might be it. There's Freddy just to deliver the bullet to the brain. And another for Red Reserve.
And only 1 remains if they want to walk away with this win. NRG have a massive hill to climb. You'd think, of course, after the nature of this series, sure enough, Train wasn't necessarily that close, not in that 1 half. Yep. The first half, very back and forth, but this is unprecedented. Very one-sided. Red Reserve keeping it up in the second half. Hampus just trying to spam away on mid. Gonna deal a bit of damage here, but it costs him. Peter with another frag through smoke. Michaelelli trying to wallbang as Fugly finds the next. That's Relaxa down for the count as Daps gets removed. Breeze with another frag as he was boosted over, controls the bomb, and Rusty's all that remains.
Are you ready for the comeback?
I am so ready.
Let's go. Sorry, Harry. Sorry, Risk. You will never be casting. This game will never end. It's going to go triple OT. It'll be constant. Rusty, you don't win this. You don't win this one, Rusty. And there it is. Breeze secures it, but it is a long road to redemption here for NRG. Highly unlikely, but they want to play it out. They are competitors. They've got that competitive spirit. They don't want to let this one fall. And here we are, back on the buy, spreading the wealth. Not the worst buy in the world. Do we have an extra gun on the ground? No. Yes, we do, but it's fine. What does it matter? You've got 15 rounds against you. If your money's screwed, you lose the round. It doesn't really matter. You're gonna have lost the game. So, Red Reserve going all in. It's a big old B hit. 5 players have to come through this way. Breeze, you better be prepared. If they commit to this, you are going to be under pressure.
Flames spewing on the bomb site, stops the T side. Great hold from Daps and Breeze. They combine for 3. And already the rest of the terrorists filter in. Peter takes them both, and Red Reserve have to wait to celebrate. It is no win just as of yet. NRG want this comeback. Like you said, that competitive essence flows through their veins. 8 more rounds is all they need.
Breeze and Peter having the good game so far. Fred on the other side doing very well. You can see score-wise quite a disparity there. A&J not quite feeling it yet. Not having a game as impressive as I'd hoped. And just a clean eco here. And not much put into it for Red Reserve. They just run through mid, try not to give away too much money towards an SMG or anything of the such, and they're fine. They do what they needed to. Again now, match point sits with Red Reserve. 1 round is all they need. And obviously for NRG, it's a long, long way back here.
Wonder how long before Red Reserve just try to avoid Breeze.
Now.
Yeah, looks like it. Back to that A site. We saw them try this before with just that straight up bomb take. Gonna try to frag any initial aggression, spamming through the smoke in an attempt to hold the cross. You're right, Fugly dropped to 40, but at least they get a player into Squeaky Door.
You can see Freddy Frog having a little look over the smoke. When it starts to dissipate, you can see slight angles. It might even show up on radar. Not today, though, as Peter does have control over by Squeak. He can't actually back from this, though. He's kind of committed there. They don't have much control unless they re-smoke A main or try and get some control going. And Bree's going to play out Venge. You can't avoid him for long. He will make this happen. Flash goes in towards Checkers, but it is this A hit. You can see Rusty holding the smoke over towards the cross. That goes in. This could play Fugly, and we'll see if the mollies come in towards him. They have 1 left put into play. That's down towards Quad, actually. He gets unleashed here, but only 1 to be found.
A&J takes the next, though, so still this 4v2. Peter just holding on the cross. The bomb yet to be revealed, although it is out. Next to Forklift, Relaxa towards the Shroud boost. Peter just still hungry for these frags, but all of a sudden, Red Reserve gonna cool their jets, take their time, and hope that the defense shuffles. Peter not going anywhere, holds it, finds both, and that's gonna be NRG, 1 short of double digits. As crazy as it may seem, round after round, they are getting closer.
This is Peter at the very end of it. No one even checking on it by this point. Just out of the back of their minds, but a little bit of an investment from Red Reserve now. P250's Touch of Armor. Could just be a play out of Squeak, so you send Hampus, maybe Rusty towards main, or one of the two, smoke out default, but the problem is that Fugly might ruin this. It's all a very simple play to allow them out of Squeaky Door to get a plant going. And Hampus is going to hear this. He better get that smoke in or do something. Yeah, he's going to just commit the smoke and probably sacrifice himself, but he does enough to allow the team out. That's what they wanted. If they can get a plant, that is job successful. If they can bring the site to a manageable situation, even better. Rusty gets the kill. We're into a 4v3.
And that's going to be an M4 in the hands of the man on Kevlar. AK as well for Rusty. They're starting to expend the utility they acquired. They are also at a health disadvantage, and the CT's vamping up this retake, forcing the man to the top of Fork. That's Peter with the headshot, and Rusty down for the count. Michaelelli on site with a P250. He's gonna get fired out. A teammate's nade from Freddy Frog, and Daps will take the last. Peter's gonna get on bomb, just jumping through the flames, and you can see him cheering. He feels it as NRG hit double digits, only 5 to go.
He's starting to play well. He's starting to really warm into this game. I can't take much away. He's had a very quiet performance, but in the final throws of this matchup, he is starting to find a little more than I'd expect. You can see he's just spotted out the player there, waited on it, jiggled back and forward, and then came through eventually when it mattered. The molly forcing out Michael in the end. 15 to 10, NRG staying alive one more time, but a good purchase here for Red Reserve. They were kind of rushing a little bit in the last one, so you're going a little quicker. Maybe they can slow down the pace, play a little default. 3 players trying to play out of B as well for NRG. Now, luckily for them, in a way, Hammers didn't see this. They haven't responded quickly or tried to make presence elsewhere. But Michaelelli starting to linger for a pick towards mid.
We've seen these sorts of rounds where if Breeze doesn't get pressured on site, he just likes to play inside of Vent, tries to clear out B main, take a bit of map control. This time around, NRG gonna lose that control as Red Reserve burn him out. 4 players grouping up towards this A site. ANJ being pressured off of Forklift. Freddy Frog takes the headshot. Fugly needs to hold here. He is gonna clear out one man who tries to wrap around site, but Freddy and Michaelelli with another 2, and this does not look good.
Breeze, Daps, it's on to you two to make this count. You got a 2v4, you have utility, you have kits, and you got the guns. You can do something to save your team, or it's time to give it up. Red Reserve right on the verge here. Flash comes in. It's go time for NRG.
Happis, he gets the backstab. That stabs down, and Breeze to follow suit. Red Reserve picking it up on cash. A nice little attempt there from NRG to make it respectable, but it's not a win.
No, it's not. It was a good attempt. A very long game, showing how much fortitude both these teams have. And Red Reserve a little bit slower on the start, a little bit, a longer build. But once they started getting into it, those guys look good. I've got to say, some of them really impressed me. All of them did at certain points. Every single one of those players had a moment where it kind of got my attention. Hampus had a great game. Freddy had some good games. You saw Rusty on Train, that first glimpse of what he could do. Very, very impressive. And for NRG, it's got to feel pretty harsh as an overall game for them to suffer through. Cash, eventually you saw a couple of players starting to get into it, starting to feel out the game a little more, and then it just gets ripped away from them. Everything went well for Red Reserve, in my opinion, at that point. Yeah,
poor NRG. They have just such a rough first half that their job is made that much more difficult. And then, of course, you win the pistol just to lose the next. It's kind of sealing their fate. So, valiant effort, but effort does not mean wins. No, sadly not. But credit to Red Reserve for bouncing back. They had probably a tougher initial game as such. Their result in the first game that they played here, and obviously DreamHack Open in Valencia, was pretty disastrous, if I'm honest. They got completely wiped out by NIP. So for them to come back in today stronger, better, showing that their map pool isn't as limited as some people think, they've definitely turned up here and provided a decent game of CS. So I'm looking forward to hearing what they have to say. I'm not sure who will be on the interview. It might be Michaelelli. We'll find out. We're going to head down to Stunner and hear what he has to say about this matchup.
Hey, that's right. I'm standing here with Michaelelli. These guys picking up 2 maps to take over that best of 3 series. Now, you guys had a pretty rough start there in the first map. Talk to me about going to the drawing board and what changed.
I mean, we didn't get a flow in the first map, and it was the same against NIP. We didn't get the flow, we didn't have the sync, like we didn't have the team play, but then we just went outside talking about the first game, and then we decided to okay, let's fucking go now, let's do this together.
Well, let's go now. Let's definitely do that. Looking forward, though, you're actually playing with a lot of younger guns. Talk to me a little bit about the leadership role you find yourself in.
I mean, we have the players in my team have been to 1, 2, 3, 4 LANs maybe in their career, so they're pretty fresh. This environment is super new for them, so it's nothing random or weird or bad that they're playing that we had these 2 losses against NIP and against NRG in the first map. So I mean, I'm trying to do to give them all my experience to help them reach the goal that they want to reach. And so far it's been pretty good. We have some ups and downs, but in general I think it's pretty good.
Now, you guys are going to be going on to play Counter Logic Gaming in the Decider matchup. You've got a little bit of time before then. How are you guys going to prepare for that?
Now we're just going to go eat some food, just relax, chill, and talk about the next game. And just decide like how we want to approach the game. And that's something we really want, that we really need to do, to just talk about what we really want to do in the game. So yeah, looking forward to it.
And I think you're absolutely right that food is the key to the soul there. I do believe that for sure. Now I'm going to throw it back over to the desk. These guys have been standing by all best of 3 just to break this one down for you at home.
Thanks so much, Stunner. We are back here on the desk to sum up that game a little bit more in depth. As Makaleli said there, his team around him aren't that experienced, but actually them coming out on top here is a great boost for their confidence, right?
Yeah, and I think we kind of got the full spectacle of what he talked about as well. The fact that there are ups and downs even within a game. We saw that they went from having not necessarily as much impact on quite a few of the players, especially on the first map on Train. We saw Relax that didn't really get into the swing of things, but then on Cobble turns it around, becomes a massive part of why they are able to actually get to a third map and so on. So you can definitely tell that it's a bunch of inexperienced guys, but to be able to take a scalp like this is very impressive.
Yeah, how did you feel about NRG in the first 2 maps coming up?
I felt like it looked pretty good. I'd say like the first map, obviously, they ended up winning it, and it looked like they were in sync with each other. Like Mike Little talking about them not being in sync, it looked like NRG like made them a little bit out of sync, and like they had some aggressive plays and they had some decent holds, I'd say, which were not the case yesterday when they played against CLG. So it looked promising, I'd say. But it was, as you said, like it seemed like the NRG players played a little bit inexperienced as well. Like it was Depths, I believe, like having one hell of a game the first 2 maps and then totally falling off in the third and deciding map, and PTR gone missing like the whole series much as well, aside from the last match here, right? So it was like ups and downs for NRG as well. It was like, again, it just showcases that NRG are still fresh, they're still new, and they're not where they want to be right now, and probably not where they should be when they've played a little bit more together.
What can they work on, do you think, NRG?
I mean, again, like consistency comes with time, and that's obviously not the fun answer. Obviously, you want a quick fix for it, right. But most of the time, it comes down to actually just practicing and getting good practice, and obviously recognizing your mistakes and whatnot. And oftentimes for NRG, it's more down to individual mistakes in the heat of the moment. And again, that comes over time. You can't fix that over the course of 2 weeks of practice. So yeah, it's gonna be a grind for them in that sense. But there's still positives to draw out from this. I mean, Breeze, for instance, who didn't show up at all yesterday, he had an absolutely magnificent series. So you can definitely tell that there's individual skill in this team, that they have something to build off of and they can go further with. It's just a matter of pinpointing what small mistakes they're making in clutch moments to get even further. Yeah, well, on the flip side, some of the highlight players, one of which is Relaxo. We've got some highlights of him particularly here. First of all, on Train, very impressive performance. Yeah, like Train was actually one of the slower games, but once he got to Cobble and once Red Reserve actually got their economy going and got to that double up setup with Michael Lil and Relaxa, things really started to kick off. And this is during the stint where I think he had something like 12 frags within 3 rounds or 4 rounds or something absolutely insane, and just kind of sped things up for them after a bit of a rocky start in that sense. We saw a lot of pistols round or 4 spy rounds actually being won by both sides here. So having one guy step it up and actually being able to put a halt to that kind of chaos is super important, especially when you're a fairly fresh team. And look at that, look how well Breeze did across the 3 maps, how sad it must be. He was insane. Yeah, like for him straight up insane. Out, yeah. 99 ADR over the course of the best of 3. Like, you can see how far ahead that is, even, any of the players on Red Reserve as well. So he just had a lights out series for the better part of it. Obviously, you can't neglect Fugly either. And Fugly is actually like a player who oftentimes goes unnoticed. I think if you speak to Dazed, he's always going to bring Fugly up as the guy who's just going to be the 1 KD ratio kind of guy. He just always does what he's expected to do, not necessarily a whole lot more, but he's always going to be there contributing for your team, which is obviously a great building stone for any sort of team. So Red Reserve now go up against CLG in the next round. How are they going to prepare? They said they're going to go away. Makale said they're going to go away, eat, chill for a little bit. They've got a best of 3 now to sort of relax. What's going to be going through their heads going into that match?
I think they want to up themselves a little bit. They know that they got this scalp against NRG, but they still need to put it up an extra level in order to beat CLG, because there's no doubt that CLG is a better playing team than NRG right now, and it was still a very, very close game between NRG and Red Reserve, I'd say. And the whole approach about, like, I know for myself, like, when you play a best of 3 and you know you have another one coming up, and this was a 3 map, you know, it's a lot of focus and there's a lot of energy you put into the game. So the whole thing about chilling, grabbing something to eat, get something to drink, might be, and most oftenly is more useful than actually like sitting down and preparing hard. You know, you need to relax, you need to re-energize, and then come back into the game all fired up.
Yeah, certainly, especially after a whole best of 3. Like, I think all the teams so far today have experienced that, as of us and everyone watching at home. Any final thoughts before we move on?
No, not really, except for, you know, it's positive to see that the Swedes actually managed to close out a game. You know, that's also one thing that's really hard when it's a completely new environment for me, being a new environment for you, being able to close out a third map on a map that you don't necessarily play as much. So, you know, that was very impressive of them, and hopefully they can bring that kind of a confidence booster into the game versus CLG, because they're going to need it. Okay, great. Thank you guys for your insights. We are going to go to a quick break very soon, but I do want to let you know about our sponsor, Strafe Esports app. This is an app which you can download during the break, and you can find out about all of the upcoming esports events, everything going on at this event, over all of the games, all of the players. If you've got a favorite player, favorite team that you want to follow and you want to see where they're going to be next, you want to follow them and go watch them live, that is the place to do it. We have a corker coming up next. It's France versus Spain, and the French want redemption for yesterday. It is Envious versus KPI, and we have a Spanish crowd here ready to watch that. Stick with us, and we'll be back very soon.